Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another video covering what the tank is like real life versus what the tank is like in game. This time we are looking at the Leopard 1 versus the Leopard 1a1 from in game. And the Leopard 1, you get to see it in the museum just like this. It's got that 105mm gun, it's a super fast tank, and you can also see it running around the track quite often as well. At Tankfest is always brought out for that event, but I can't show it because it's got AC/DC running in the background. But it is a fantastic tank to look at. It's just an absolutely impressive beast. And here is the Leopard 1a1 in game. Like I say, I picked the 1a1 because I've never actually featured it on the channel, and I thought I should give it a fair shout. There was plenty of Leopards in this game to be able to feature, like the Leopard 1 in World War II, the Leopard 1a1, the Leopard 166, the Leopard 1a3, the Leopard 1a5. You could have even done the Object 773 from Cold War Era 1 as well. There's plenty of versions of the Leopard in World of Tanks Modern Armour, but I picked the 1a1 because it's not been shown before on the channel, and I thought it'd be nice to get it featured, especially since I've had quite a few people ask for this tank in the past, so hey, why not? And yeah, you get this fantastic skin for the Leopard 1a1. It does look really cool. They did a very, very good job at making this tank look sick. And what's it like as a tank? Well, as a tank, the Leopard 1a1 is actually pretty solid. You've got a great gun, you've got decent DPM, you've got good mobility, you've got good camo. The only thing you don't really have in this vehicle is armour. You have 0 armour, which means you get easily penned by everything, and you've got to be very, very careful of ATGMs popping your ammo rack, which is a big problem for the Leopard 1a1. But on the whole, it's a pretty damn solid tank. It makes you very, very good silver as well. So what do I run in terms of equipment on this vehicle? Well, I run the Advanced Loader, the Camo Net, and the Advanced Reload. I run Advanced Reload to make the most of the fantastic HESH rounds that this vehicle gets at 250 pen for 570 alpha. They can really turn the tide of a fight very, very quickly, especially if a lightly armoured tank comes charging at you. Your DPM goes through the roof by firing those 570 alpha rounds, so that's why I use the Advanced Reload. The Camo Net to knock it down to the 274 meters of still concealment, which can really help you be stealthy on flanking maneuvers, and that way you can keep firing without getting spotted, and it will take them a little bit of time to acquire you. And the Advanced Loader to make the DPM of this tank as good as possible. I run food, by the way, to make sure that everything on this tank is as good as it can be, making the accuracy, aim time, DPM, etc, better and better. You could run smoke if you wanted to, because it could be quite useful for this vehicle, especially if you see ATGMs coming at you, and it will knock your concealment down to 247 meters of still concealment, which is fantastic. But I just like to make everything about the tank better with food. And what do I run in terms of a commander? Well, in terms of a commander, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise, Muffled Shot, and Rapid Aim. Rapid Aim to make the turret traverse of this vehicle better, because the turret traverse is a little bit slow on the Leopard 1a1, and it is way slower than the tracks, so you want to help it out as much as you can do. The 3 gun perks to make this gun sing and be as good as possible, and that way, by running these 3 gun perks, I don't have to run the gun stabilizer, and I can focus on other stuff. The Camouflage Expertise and Muffled Shot to make the camo just that little bit better on the vehicle and reduce the effect of firing by 35% on my camo, so that again, when I make those flanking plays and I play from the sides, I can stay unspotted for as long as possible, and it takes them a lot longer to be able to see me from distance. If you didn't want to run Rapid Aim, you could change the skill for 10 gold quite easily, like you see that we can do now. You could run Deadeye, Clutch Braking to make it turn quicker if you wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend it with the turret traverse being so slow. You could run Silent Driving to knock the camo down while moving as well. You could run Armour Angling to reduce the damage coming in. It's down to you and how you want to kit out the tank. It's completely down to your personal preference. But I run Rapid Aim just to make the turret traverse of the Leopard 1a1 better. So let's have a look at the statistics of the Leopard 1a1. Well, as you can see, we've got a 65.2 km/h top speed with a 26.6 km/h reverse speed, which with an 830 horsepower engine with 20 horsepower per ton ratio, you do actually hit that 65.2 km/h top speed very, very easily. If you wanted to run the traction system instead of the Camo Net, you could quite easily hit the 71 km/h top speed that you will hit if you run it. It's down to you again. You've got 10% internal fire chance, which is on the low end of fire chances. I don't tend to get set on fire that often in this vehicle, but it can happen because RNG. But yeah, you're on the low end of the fire chances, which is good. You got 2,500 hit points, which is pretty decent for the vehicle. Again, it's not the highest in the universe, but it's also not the lowest. 48 degrees a second hull rotation speed is very fast. This tank does turn very quickly. 1.52 on soft, 0.69 on medium, and 0.6 on firm, means that it'll never hold you back in terms of your ground resistances on this top speed. You got 274 meters of still concealment on the Leopard, which is pretty good. Again, it helps you with those flanking plays to stay unspotted, and helps you get a shot or two off without getting seen. And it means that the enemy tank has to be able to try and use true vision to see you, which means you generally tend to get a few more shots off before they realise exactly where you are. And you've got 559 meters of view range, which is good enough for you to be able to spot targets at decent distances. 43.79 degrees a second turret rotation speed is faster than the tracks. No, sorry, is slower than the tracks. I meant to say the tracks are still way faster than your turret traverse, which is why you want to try and buff it up with rapid aim and stuff like that, because without rapid aim, that is only 37 or 38 degrees a second on turret traverse, which is very, very slow, way slower than the hull, and you really notice how slow the turret traverse is compared to the hull, so that's why I want to make it as good as possible. You've got 0.67 accuracy during rotation, mixed with 1.79 accuracy during movement. That is really nice. It means the gun bloom isn't that much at all. It means the aim circle does not bloom out that badly, and with a 1.57 second aim time as well, it means the gun does aim in very, very fast as well. You know, if you were to run the gun stabilizer, these two statistics would get better. The gun bloom would be even better, and it'd mean that this gun is always ready to go instantly without really having to aim in all that long. But because this is already so good, that's why I don't run the gun stabilizer, and that way I can focus on other things. You've got 9 degrees of gun depression, which is damn nice. It means you can go hull down very, very easily. You can use lots of different positions on ridge lines and limit the exposure of your tank on those ridge lines. You might be thinking, well, why do I really want to go hull down in a Leopard? Because if I get penned, well, it's got no armor. I'm going to get penned through the turret every time. Well, the thing is, if you go hull down on a ridge line, naturally you're only exposing your turret, which means you're a much smaller target than you are as a Leopard out in the open, because the Leopard is a fairly large tank and very easy to hit. You've got a 5.62 second reload, which is 4.9k DPM, which is pretty nice. You've got 0.26 accuracy at 100 meters, which is fantastic. 1.57 second aim time, like I say, is great. It means this tank's gun does get aimed in very, very quickly. You've got APFS DS as a standard, APFS DS as a premium, and HESH as a HE round, which has 449 penetration on the standard APFS DS and 505 penetration on the premium APFS DS, which is absolutely fantastic. 505 pen butchers everything in Era 2, which is delightful. And you've got 250mm of penetration on that HESH round, which again is fantastic for 570 Alpha. Means that you will go through quite a lot of tanks, and again, it can change the course of a fight very, very quickly when your DPM is going through the roof by firing the HE. You got 1455 meters a second shell velocity on the standard APFS DS, with 1478 meters a second on the premium APFS DS, with 737 on the HESH rounds. So bear in mind, if you load the HESH rounds, it is a hell of a lot slower than the standard or the premium round, and will mean that they do feel like they loop a little bit and they're a lot more inaccurate, and that's because the shell velocity is so poor. And it's just something to bear in mind that if you do load the HESH, you will have to give a significant amount of lead compared to the standard rounds and the premium rounds. And this tank does get 165% silver bonus, which is absolutely fantastic for the Leopard 1a1. Means this tank does make fantastic silver as well, which is always a nice thing for a tank, right? But that is the statistics. That's what I run in terms of a crew and a commander. Let's have a quick look at the old module viewer for you. That is where the engine block is for the vehicle. It's not right in the back of the tank. It's kind of more towards the back end where the turret is. The ammo racks are also there on the vehicle. If you want to damage the ammo rack of this thing, shoot it on the right-hand side of the hull as you're looking at it, and you will damage the ammo rack. And that's where ATGMs tend to fly in and pop your lid, so you've got to be very, very careful of that. And that is where your crew sits in the Leopard 1a1 as well. You've got 4 crew, and if someone shoots you on the left-hand side of the turret, they're not more than likely going to knock out 2 people, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that's the Leopard 1a1. It's a really damn solid tank. I definitely enjoy playing it. It can be a lot of fun. The gun is fantastic. DPM's nice. On the whole, the gun sometimes feels a little bit wonky at times with the RNG, but on the whole, it's a pretty good tank to play. And most people have it because it was one of the Ultimate Pass tanks, or it was one of the Season Pass level 100 tanks anyway, a long, long time ago at this point. But it is a solid little tank, and that's why I thought I would show it off on video, because, again, I've not really shown it off on the channel before, so why not? So what I'm going to do now is send you over to the replays where you can watch this tank in action. You'll see how it handles, see how it plays, and you'll see what it looks like truly in-game when you're playing compared to that one that we've just seen in the tank museum. So as always, everybody, enjoy the replays. So here we are in the replays with the Leopard 1a1. We're on this map, which is Mountain Pass. The Mountain Pass, what I want to do is try and speed my way to J5 and then be able to look across the gap and see if there's anyone sniping from C2, C3, because people do tend to sit up there and snipe, but also shoot anyone that might be crossing the open, like this M60A3 is. I don't even know why I tried to take that shot, because that was never going to work. And someone managed to shoot us on the move as well, which is sad times, but we're in the position we want to be, so we're going to try and get the shot down range towards the bandit, but sadly that shot just went, you know what, I could, but no. And that's RNG. RNG does that at times. Now the RDF LT is driving across the open. By the way, some of these replays are before the ATGM changes, so if anyone shotguns us, you know why. But anyway, we get a shot into the RDF LT, and he's just sitting there taking the hits, and he's now being YOLO'd by our light tanks. So we're just going to keep this gun singing. And again, like I say, this gun sometimes feels really wonky in Era 2. As RNG, it just seems to hit the floor. And you're thinking, well, this gun is super duper accurate. Why does it hit the floor like this all the time? You're like, come on, gun, show me that accuracy that I want to see. Because we've got 0.26 accuracy, you know, it should be fantastic. But when it does get singing, oh yeah, it's going to be a great time. So we're up to 2.2k damage. Get another shot through that Leopard 1. There's now a 4211 in the open, so we're loading the premium rounds for 505 pen. And 505 pen is not going to have any trouble at all with a 4211, as long as he doesn't angle, which is, well, what he did in the end. So we use the ammo swap up and switch back to the standard round because we don't need the premium for these vehicles around the corner. And we get after these mediums. We probably should have got after these guys a bit earlier, but hey-ho, it is what it is. I was thinking about Hesh rounds for the lower plate of the Bandit, but sadly the shot just goes a little bit low and we don't get it. Now the MX-30B2 comes after us, and I'm a little bit scared of the 30B2 because the 30B2 could quite happily machine gun us, but we load Hesh, go through his lower plate there for 566, and against tanks like this is where higher pen HE and Hesh rounds can be absolutely beautiful, as you just trash their tanks so fast firing the Hesh rounds, and that's where the utility of that round is great. And it's the same on any tank that has HE or Hesh that is above 200 pen, I'd say, in Era 2, because there's so many tanks that you can pen with that round. Any of the Leopards, as long as you're not hitting the upper plate of the Leopard 1a1, I think it is, that has some spaced armor randomly on it, which means HE just detonates. Any of the Leopards at that point, any of the AMX-30s, as long as you're not hitting the upper plate of the Brennus, the light tanks as well, all you got to do is make sure that you are avoiding spaced armor, so like shooting people in the side or anything like that, and again, you'll start slapping out big HE rounds like that for 536 on that BMP. But we're not going to pen a T72A or the other guy with Hesh, so we just load the premium rounds just to make sure that we're going to go through this T72A. Just because we bounced the first round, I was like, nah, you know what, I'm not chancing it. I want to get rid of this guy if I can. And we just need to keep our DPM working, which is what we've done. And good night, Mr. T72A. They've got 2 tanks left on the enemy team, and the TR580 that was next to us is dead. The FV4211 for earlier is actually directly behind us and is being charged by the Tyran 6. So again, we go straight for the premium rounds because that's just how we're going to guarantee a pen against the FV4211. Boost our reload and everything with food, and start putting the rounds down range. We actually damaged this guy's ammo rack as well. I'm thinking, well, you know, I could pop it, but you know what, we're just going to keep the damage flowing. Another one straight to the side. Maybe we can get the kill, but sadly not for us, as the Leopard 1a1 ends up, the other Leopard 1a1 ends up killing him. And finish with the epic victory. Top of the team, 0 kills, 6.7k damage, 187,000 credits. The first class defender, the Confederate, for 1340 base XP. A fairly average game there for the Leopard 1a1 on Mountain Pass. Just really showed what it can do. You know, if you put yourself in that flanking position, try not to be the focus of the attention. Just keep the gun singing, because the gun is what is so nice about this Leopard 1a1. Again, it can be wonky at times, and sometimes it just misses shots that you sit there and go, why? Why do you forsake me like this game? You know? But on the whole, that's RNG, and then sometimes it hates you. So we're on to the second game. And the second game, we're here on Fred Vang. And on Fred Vang, what I want to do is go to the top of the hill here at DE8, because then I can snipe across at anyone that might be on the hill at E3-4. Plus, you can get yourself stuck into a little brawl on this little road as well. And you can shoot anyone that might camp up at B3-4, because people do like to sit up at B3 as well in Era 2 and Era 3. And that means you can get some free damage off on them as well, because you can stay on spotter generally doing that. Or you can shoot people that just charge down the AB line as well. There's plenty of shots you can get from this position. And as you can see, a lot of my team have come this way, which means we should hopefully win this flank. We've loaded the Hesh rounds for the Ignis Pagatio. The BMP-1 is coming. Again, I've got the Hesh rounds loaded for extra damage. We go for that into the Stingray, and there you go, 542. Again, it's why we load these rounds. We get detected as we're moving it forward, and I was thinking there's maybe something up there. That is why we are, well, we were getting detected. Something can see me from there, but we looked, and we couldn't really see what it possibly was, so we're going to move ourselves back onto a position where we can hopefully get some shots at anyone sitting in the distance. So we're just trying to use True Vision to see if we can spot a target, and there we go. We find the Centurion 9 in the distance. It's like, hello, friend. Don't mind if I do shoot you. We end up getting some free shots on this guy. He's trying to run away, and we're not going to get the shot on him before he gets himself covered. That shot looked like it should have hit that Leopard 1a5, but okay then, sure, whatever. The Ignis Pagatio's out in the open. I went for the Hesh, I think, there, but I ended up switching to premium, and I don't think I realised quite that I'd switched to premium here. And you can see I switched back to the standard APFS DS. But the Ignis Pagatio's coming in on my friends. We're not going to allow that, but sadly that shot misses again, and I sit here going, but why? We've got the Hesh rounds loaded again, though, because we can really deal some massive damage to this guy. But the dead wreck of my friend is just in the perfect spot for us to not be able to get shots at him. But here we go. We'll just try and make sure with the Hesh, but it misses, and that's where the shell velocity of that Hesh round can be really poor and really let you down. We get the tracking shot into the Ignis Pagatio, though, who's clearly already burnt the repair kit, so we load the Hesh round because we know it's going to fly. And in fact, I think we actually loaded premium there. 384, that was quite the... Oh, I suppose we got the kill. But anyway. We've got the Centurion 9 now out in the open that's flanking around our heavy friend. Again, we just need to keep this gun running. We don't want to sit still for too long. We don't want to sit in a position where, yeah, the shells just aren't going to keep flying. That shot, by the way, was so filthy. That hit that guy. Okay, we'll take it. You know, RNG, it giveth and it taketh. But we're going to use the good mobility of the Leopard here to close the distance to these vehicles. There's that type on the hill. There's still a rickety Panzer somewhere, which you've got to be very, very careful of, because naturally the ATGMs of that vehicle will hurt us, and we don't want to get hurt by that thing. The Type 80 is fully sprinting away. We know there's a heavy tank at E8. The light tank gets spotted up at B4, and there we go. We end up spotting the rickety Panzer. We loaded Hesh, put a round of Hesh through, but I want to make sure with this guy moving at distance that I'm going to be able to pen it, so we loaded the APFSDS again. The Centurion 9 is sitting still, so you know what? We're going to make the most of that with the Hesh rounds, put a 617 round into the Centurion 9, because Centurions are also fairly, same as the Conqueror and the Chieftain, they're also fairly easy to pen with the HE rounds or the Hesh rounds if you hit the lower plate and stuff like that. Centurion, you can just hit anywhere on the hull as long as you're avoiding the spaced armor and you'll pen it, and again, you're upping your DPM in that regard. BMP-1 at distance, really game. The BMP-1 at distance, I didn't really want to load Hesh in case he started moving, but the APFSDS still said, absolutely not. But that shot hits, because of course! You know, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. That shot hit the BMP-1, threaded the needle. Beautiful shot, but RNG just went, you know what? You missed that other shot on the BMP. So this time, I'm going to give it to you, let you hit the shot, and just dish out the damage. And, whatever, it is what it is. But it was our third kill of this game, and we're up to 6,825 damage with 634 assistance, and there is the one tank left. It is the raid boss, the FV4211, I'm pretty sure it is, and he is around this corner. He's a one-shot. We got the premium loaded, which is just going to go straight through his side, and finish off that British Western Alliance Era 2 heavy tank. And finish with the 4 kills, 7.1k damage, 637 assistance, or 34 assistance, sorry, ace tanker. with 1,519 base XP. A really nice game there for the Leopard 1a1. We also made 247,000 credits as well, which is pretty damn nice. Like I say, this thing does make very, very good silver. And we finished again with a really good total for it. But now we're on to the third and final replay of this video. And we are on Desfall, a map that I do enjoy playing when I get it. And we are going to go to the one position on Desfall, which I always think is pretty damn strong. And that is the middle of the map. Now, the middle of the map is a little bit awkward at times for a Leopard 1a1. And the reason for that is the fact that you have no armour. And it's a bit of a brawly situation if enough people go that way. And especially if the tanks that go up there have ATGMs, well, your hit points can evaporate very, very quickly. Now, it's a little bit easier on the ATGM front with the changes, because it is a little bit more close quarters on the hill, which means that unless, if something came up with ATGMs that had 100 meters minimum arming distance, there's very little wiggle room for them to be able to actually hit you with those ATGMs. If they've got 65 meters, then, well, 65 meters actually really isn't that far away, so they could still get you with them. But it's not like it was before, where they might be able to just drive around this corner next to me, right in my face point blank, and then take away 1,000 hit points, which is quite nice for the Leopard 1 in that way. It gives the Leopard 1 some sort of benefit, because beforehand, when the ATGMs were the other way that they were, this vehicle was just like, oh, a light tank's charged me, oh, it's in my face, oh, there goes 1,000 hit points, and then it runs away after you've only done 400 or 500 damage. But anyway, I digress. We're using the position to what we can. We see the Bagel Panzer in the distance. We get 2 shots into this Bagel Panzer. We're trying to help our light tank out as much as possible. I thought the Object 934 would be a better target to shoot, because I thought the Bagel Panzer was actually going to get away. Another Bagel Panzer there in the open, so we just put the shot into him as well. This is why the middle of this map is... Oh, that was close. The middle of this map is quite handy for... Oh, no, that's an ATGM. Is that coming at me? No, that's coming at one of my heavy tanks. Well, it's fine. That was one of the moments where you're sitting there going, is that going for us? Why are we so calm and composed about sitting here? But yeah, this is why the middle of the map is so good, because you get so many shots across the map to different positions, and for a Leopard 1 with a fantastic gun and decent DPM, you can really put out the hurt from it, and just you can cover all different areas as you want. There's now a Brennus in front of us, and again, I could load Hesh and go through this guy's lower plate, but I decided not to because he's now a one-shot. Aim for that lower plate and finish off the Brennus there. Now Magak 6B GAL, which is currently being face-hugged by, I think, an XM1. So we're just going to, again, help this guy out as much as possible. I'm trying to track it, but sadly, they're playing a tug of war right now, and we just couldn't get the shot into his drive wheel. We damage his ammo rack, put him down to a one-shot. Hopefully we'll help the XM1 out, and we do finish off the Magak 6B GAL. So now that the middle is basically won, we're going to go see if we can help out the team on the other flank, because they are attacking quite aggressively into the enemy cap. So maybe we can get some shots at the Brennus, at the TD or the heavy tank. There is an AMX-30B2 crossing the open, so again, we want to just, if you don't want to let this gun sit still for too long and not fire, and if we can keep the shots raining out with this thing, we will do it. We couldn't quite get the shot into that AMX-30, but we do get the RBRT into the 30B2. He gets a shot into us as well, and he's starting to use his machine gun, but at this distance he's going to not hit that many shells into us, and he's also not going to do too much damage. But he is distracted by the BMP, who ATGMs him and shuts him down. It is 10-7 in this game, which means it's, you know, it's not equal, but it's still in the balance, and we know where a few of their tanks were. They were all basically behind us, so I look over the ramp to see if I could see anyone, and there we go. We end up finding a couple of their tanks, the M60A2, the M60, so we got a cheap shot into the M60A2, and then a shot through the cupola of the M60, and thankfully his HE rounds ends up missing us, which can be a bit of a problem for a Leopard, naturally, because his ATGMs will hurt. The Ignis Pigattio's coming in, and this is where I was thinking, oh no. Thankfully, his ATGM misses, and we switch to Hesh rounds, because the Hesh rounds will deal some significant damage, 524, and our XM1 helps us out. I'm not sure what the Ignis Pigattio was trying to do in the end, because especially when there was an XM1 up here with us, he was always going to die there. And, well, he did. And that, again, if you get YOLO by an Ignis Pigattio, like, obviously you can just switch to the Hesh rounds and you're doing significantly more damage to them in that way. But it's not going to happen quite as much like that anymore, because naturally that guy couldn't just YOLO as an ATGM as like he could then, or when this replay happened. So we got a nice shot into the M60, but again, I'm being very, very careful. I am a one-shot. I don't want to die at this point, but the M60 is going to drive straight out in front of our gun. So we put one shot into this M60, wait for him to drive out again. I load Hesh because I can pen the back of the M60 there, but we end up not penning it, but we do track it. So we'll take the tracking assist. There's 2 tanks left on the enemy team. There's the heavy tank and the medium tank. They're all directly below us. The Chieftain Hybrid 120, which we can finish off, but because of the destructible cover in front of me, I end up hesitating for too long, and we didn't quite get our 3rd kill of this game. But to finish with the victory, the 2 kills, 8.8k damage, 710 assistance, ace tanker, Confederate, the high caliber, with the 1623 base XP. And yeah, that's the Leopard 1a1. It's a pretty damn solid Era 2 medium tank. It's got a good gun, good DPM, and it's got a lot of different things that you can utilize. And that's the Leopard 1a1 and what the Leopard looks like in-game in World of Tanks Modern Armour compared to what it looked like in the Tank Museum in real life. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!